And now comes the fun part. Let's start with the C files. As told here, makes most sense to compare Bforartists directly with Blender. So this is Source Blender Editor's object. Source Blender Editor's object. And then we need the Bforartists directory too. Source Blender Editor's object, and the file is object relations. This one. So now let's take care that you don't mix the Blender with the Bforartist source files. I usually put space problem here. I usually put the Blender file at the right side and the Bforartists file at the left side. Here we are. Now let's compare. Icons is from us. Usually icon changes are from us. So we can ignore this part. Again, lots of icons here. Icon, icon. This is the first change here. This has changed from UI item O to UI item Boolean O. So let's grab this icon parent. This is something that we need to keep. So, and then there is also a new item here. This is work for later. We will come to this when we go through the changes, through the list of changes, and find the commit that has brought it. Okay, this one goes into our Bforartists code. Again, icons. This does not change. Then here we have, this is new. This is a change that does not belong any longer to the code. This must be removed. This is new code from Blender. And this is new code from Blender. And then we have again icon, 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 icon. This is everything from us. I can make a local icon, icon. Data blocks. This is one of the updated and improved tooltips. We don't call it data block, we call it simply data. Again, data block, data, and a closer explanation in the tooltip, improved tooltip. This is from us. Here we have a change from, how is it called? It is called, one moment, Zählen format. This is an automated tool that indents content when it's too long, and this has striked here back. So let's put this part here. Well, we don't need to, but it makes more sense because now this line does not show as a difference anymore. This here is a change from us. This difference makes sense, but here, let's do it the Blender way. So we are through. Don't forget to save. As you can see in the Bforartist repository, come on. Now the object relations is shown as changed. Let's continue. Interface templates. Source Blender Editor's interface. Source Blender Editor's interface. Here the same. This is the Bforartists. Let's go this way around. As told, I prefer to have the Bforartist repository at the left side and the Blender repository at the right side. So we have been at Source Blender Editor's interface. Interface, and the file is interface templates C. Where are you? Here we are. So again, same game. Open up Melt, turn it to file comparison, and drag in the two files. Left side Bforartists, right side Blender. Compare. This is one of our optimized tooltips. Choose scene is simply more obvious than to be linked. This is a change from us. Here we have again an optimized tooltip. Here we have BFA command. This change here comes from us. Same here. Let's go optimized tooltip again. Here we have left aligned props. Left aligned props. It's an icon change here. This one is commented out because we have the apply button in the header. This is the modifiers. Here we are. This is the button that we have in the header instead. Again, icon changes. We don't add a comment to the icons because this is too obvious. When it's something about icon, then our solution counts here. Optimize tooltip. Again, an icon. Reset blank. Again, icon. And there is no change. I wonder why. This is... nope. There is no obvious change in this file. And this is one of the cases where I compare Blender new with Blender old instead. So let's change here Blender old. And here we need Source Blender Editor's interface. Here we are. And let's have a look what change is in this file, because between Bforartists and Blender there was no obvious difference. So to make sure, again, file comparison, this is Blender, left side this time. And this is interface templates, Blender old, right time, compare. Here we are. This is the obvious change, browse hair to browse curves. So this is the difference. This is the new. Again, open melt. And Bforartists. And Blender. So this is in line. Where was it? 790. This is pretty at the end. Browse hair. Here we are. This is the part that I have overlooked here. This has become hair curves, has changed to curves data. Simply remove the word hair. And here we are. So this file is also ready. Save it. Let's progress the last C file. This is, where is it? This is interface region tooltip. We are in the same folder when I see it right. Yes, interface region tooltip. Region tooltip, here we are. This too. Again, open up melt, file comparison, and let's have a look here. Okay. This becomes pretty complicated now. This is again one of these cases where I need to check between Blender new and Blender old. Fuzzy. Interface region tooltip and interface region tooltip, and let's have a look. And the change is in line 791. this has been added here. 791. This is this part here. Okay, we could have a problem here. Because this is a change from us to have... Let's ignore this change. We have to look in the list, commit list, and to find the commit that has changed this, because I think this change here conflicts with our change here. This is what makes the merge so complicated already. You have just a handful lines and it can completely strike back. So what we do here needs investigation. Save. Let's come to the Python files here. Let's first clean up a bit here to have the space. As told, with the Python files it makes more sense to compare Blender new and Blender old. These Python files are located in... Come down here. This is Blender release scripts startup BLUI. Here we have all the Python files for the UI. Again, Blender copy release scripts startup BLUI. So here we are. Space View 3D. Just to show you what I mean, let's for a short moment compare Blender with, for comparison please, Blender with Bforartists. We have a gazillion changes and it makes simply no sense. As you can see here, nearly the whole file is completely different. We would not find the changes that comes with the new version here. Let's close it again. I need, as told, to compare Blender new with Blender old. For comparison, here we are, Space View 3D. And now let's have a look what is new in this merge. We have a new operator here. A back file? Curious. Space View 3D. Now let's have a look. This is View empty object apply. Let's find this class. Now I have the dilemma just to have one monitor. As told, I work with two monitors already. But now I need to find here, this is at the very end. So let's add it at the very end here too. In the Python files I don't tolerate this unreadable way. So what I first do is to make it readable again. So one line is one operator. This makes much more sense than this crap here. So let's continue. This new operator is entered. Okay, we need to search for this one here. This is in snapping. Snapping panel. Let's move it out of sight for a moment. If object mode added, do we have it here? Nope. Here we are. This is, here we are. Use snap self. This part needs to be replaced by this part here. Copy. indenting. It is so... Something went wrong here. Ah, wait, it is this part here. If object, now we have it. This is the same. Next change, please. But I think 2 changes. Okay. So here we are done. Let's save the file. I think you have understood the principle. The rest of the Python files I will do without recording it. It is always the same. You search for the class, search for the change, and then you apply the change in our Bforartists files. Maybe one note, when you are unsure, always first apply the new Blender code and then afterwards search for the commit, and then you can clean it up as told. In this case, I mark this issue as needs further investigation, and then I have a look afterwards. Here comes a new class. In this case, I try to keep the order of the classes, so I search for an LA empty marker and place this menu here directly below as here in this file. And this should be 2 lines. This is between classes 2 empty lines. They have 3 lines here, so this is for me a bug. Well, this change here is something where you need our special knowledge, because we have the start editing stuff already in the header. I'm not sure if they have added a special mode for that. So this is again something to mark and to find the commit for, because start tweaking strip actions does not exist anymore in our menu. We have made it in the header. I think I can show it, NLA. Let's start here. This is animation, driver, graph, NLA. It is about this element here, tweak, start editing. NLA tweak mode enter, as you have seen in the tooltip. NLA tweak mode enter. So I'm not sure if we should really add these things to our menu, because we have removed it from our menu and have put it into the header already. Let's mark it as needs investigation. And of course, we won't apply this. This is a change that we don't transfer to the Bforartists files. Different story here for the context menu. The context menu I try to keep as close to the render menu as possible. So here we go. This part goes here. Copy. If else load separator. This is stashed actions. This is this one. Here we are. What is missing now is the icon. Yeah, we can already add it here. Add action tweak. Oh, I have forgotten what icon this was here now. Let's undo. Action tweak. Okay. File. Redo. We are. Okay, on this action tweak. Copy. I'm not sure if it is solo or not. Let's use the tweak icon for now. We will see when we go through the list of commits. Don't even try to, let's first save this. Don't even try to fix everything in the merge. Here is the new menu. This needs to be added to. So here in the classes, this is marker and marker select. Doesn't want to transfer. Try it again, now it works. Okay, through, save. So, through with the Python files. Now comes one thing. Let's go back to the folder here. You might remember at the beginning that Blender has submodules. Here we are. This is what I wanted to search, Git submodule. We in Bforartists have removed these submodules with the consequence that when there is no conflict, our submodules don't get any updates. So this is the final step. You can also do it at the beginning to compare the Blender submodules with the Bforartists submodules and apply the changes. It is in fact 4 folders. The one is release, data files, locale. These are the translations. Let's have a look here into Blender, release, data files, locale. These 2 folders needs to be compared. Let's do a directory comparison and throw in Bforartists and Blender. Compare. Okay, in this case, no difference. Oops, wrong folder. Bforartists, we need to be release, data files, locale. So let's again compare it, directory comparison, and locale, and here we are. Now we have the differences. The blue files can all be moved to the left into our Bforartists repository. We are not Blender. We don't need a Blender pull request template and also not the stale file, and we don't need the gitignore file. As told, our submodules are already integrated. We don't have submodules in our repository. So this was the first, locale, Blender release data files. The next 2 folders are in scripts, add-ons and add-ons contract. These 2 files here. The add-ons, comparing, directory comparison again, and now let's go through the list again. Again, GitHub, this does not belong to our repository. Please do not move it to Bforartists. And here we are at the import-export scripts. When there is just the icon the difference, then nothing to do. We have added the icons for our import-export menus here. Same here. Just the icon, nothing to do. Just the icon, nothing to do. And so on. But sometimes there are changes, and you really need to have a close eye. Here we have default true that just selected objects gets imported. This is a different default here. And here again the icons. Just the icons, so no changes at the im and export. Nope. Nope. The material library FX, this is from us. And also this change here is from us. We have added our material libraries here to the add-on. This is, execute is a bit wrong, so here we have a change. But it is commented out anyways. Nope, not for us. This is from BFA. And this is also a change from us. So this can in general be kept alone. That is one little change. So let's save it. This is an add-on that is not from us, and we don't have any change here, so we can move it completely to the left. And the mini-lightlib does not exist in Blender. Arcconfig and gitignore, again, keep your hands away. This is Blender stuff that we don't want to have in our repository. So here we are through. Now let's do the same for the add-ons contrib. Here is usually, at least in the last few months, no difference anymore. No change. Sometimes a little tiny change. But again here, nothing has really changed. Keep your hands away from these files. This is Blender content. Does not belong to Bforartists. So, and there is a last folder. There is in source, tools. Let's also compare this folder. Check spelling. I think this is something. Yes. We don't have any changes here, so when there's a difference, then it is from us. User pref blend is from us, and here is the only change usually, our command how to use this script here. I have added it at one point, and so again, this does not belong to us. Summary. Bforartists source tools. Bforartists release, data files, locale, and the two add-on files, add-on folders, are submodules that you need to compare with every merge. Okay, we are through so far. Now comes the funny part, to have a look if our code here compiles. So I have already deleted here the sync Blender master content and will now, with cmake, create everything from scratch. Configure. Looking good. Generate. I don't do the sync Blender master with any CUDA or something. This takes simply too long. The CUDA binary is off. At this point it is just, does the branch compile or not? Everything else is not of interest. So let's start the compiling process. I use debug in case in case something goes wrong. Then I can already run a debug build and start to debug. And now let's compile it. Install. Compiler's finished. Now let's have a look if it starts. Yes, it starts. And at this point, I always have a look in the console. Anything obvious? Not from us. Everything fine. Let's commit this. So here we are. Git commit sync Blender master. Oh, man. Here we are. Pop-ups. I hate them. Let's have a look here if we have new files here. Nope. So let's commit it. Nee, ne? What remains now is to switch here to the master. Switch checkout, master. And fetch our sync Blender master branch. And do a merge again. I think I have also recorded it here. Again, we go into the bash. And the Sync Blender Master is now merged into Bforartists, into the master. So we need to, as a last step here now, to push the master to the GitHub repository. And then let's throw out the work here. And create everything from scratch. Since I know that there is development coming also here without CUDA binaries, I turn on binaries when I do a compile to create the developer builds. So here without. And again, compile the whole thing. This takes a while. This time release. Install build. Okay, this was the code part. What remains now is to go through the list of commits. This list here, that was good, show log. And this will be another video. It would be too much in one video. I had to split the tutorial up. So let's go on with part 2.